Test 1 2. Test 1 2. You're welcome. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test.
So good morning, everybody. The Attorney General has arrived and will be on stage momentarily, or sitting here, and then we'll introduce him. I just want to welcome you all to Kean University. It's a real exciting day for us, and we have a great group of speakers. So if you need headphones or earbuds, I think they were up here. I was asked to tell you to call a certain number if you need translation services. That number is 781-448-4526. And the PIN number is 74469. So let me repeat that. If you need translation services, call 781-448-4526, and the PIN number is 74469. We'll be starting momentarily. I want to let you know that after the plenary speeches, there will be several workshops starting at roughly 11 o'clock in the morning. They're listed outside, but Resistencia en Acción has a workshop in NAAB NAB 109 entitled Know Your Rights, Defense and Protections During ICE Raids. Conoce tus derechos, defensa y protecciones durante operativos de ICE. The New Jersey Citizen Action has a workshop in NAB 115. Know Your Rights, Healthcare Access for Immigrant Families. Conoce tus derechos, acceso a atención médica para familias inmigrantes. And then Make the Road New Jersey has a workshop in NAB 208. Know Your Rights, Immigration Status, and School Enrollment. Conoce tus derechos, estatus migratorio y matrícula escolar. And then the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice has a workshop in NAB 207. Know Your Rights presentation on ICE encounters. Conoce tus derechos, defensa y encuentros con ICE. I would also add that there's plenty of food outside, and there are also a number of tables, resource tables outside that are being manned. So at your convenience, after the plenary session, be sure to stop by. In attendance today, we have the Community Affairs and Resource Center. The Morris County Organization for Hispanic Affairs is here. And by the way, I thank all of you for doing the workshops and those who are tabling. So I appreciate you. Ironbound Community Corporation is here, Office of New Americans. New Jersey Citizen Action and Make the Road. Planned Parenthood of New Jersey is here. Partnership for Maternal and Child Health, and La Casa de Don Pedro, and the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. So all of those folks have tables here, and please feel free to gather information. So we'll begin in a moment. As I say, the Attorney General has fans, I guess, greeting him as he's walking in. So we'll be here. He'll be here in a moment. Sí, sí, okay. Si necesitan traducción a español, pueden llamar a este número, 781-448-4526. El PIN Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kean University. There's been a slight change in the program. The Attorney General is on a tight schedule. So first we'll have, after I introduce him, Dr. Repollet, and then the Attorney General, Matt Platkin. So again, welcome. I am Frank Argoti Freyer. I'm a Latin American history professor here at Kean and director of our new Hispanic Leadership Center. I'm also the chair of the Latino Action Network Foundation. All three of these entities are responsible for what is happening here today. So I'll be moderating the plenary session, and I'll be brief because the speakers that follow me have a lot of important things to say. Just a quick word about the impact of immigrants on our nation. You are the foundation of our nation. I am just back from a writing retreat, and I was writing in Florida, and as part of that, I had to drive back through, the southern states. And everywhere I went, the presence of immigrants was so prevalent. I don't think you can have an omelet in our nation where the eggs are not scrambled by immigrant workers in their kitchens, restaurant kitchens. In our travels, our GPS diverted us a few times off of main congested roads, and we went onto side roads. And even in South Carolina, we were going through a town in South Carolina that I think had 8 to 10 residents in it. And there was a work crew on the side of the road. And there appeared to be a white supervisor and a work crew of what appeared to me to be 3 immigrant workers, 3 Latino immigrant men. That just shows you, again, we're building the nation. Immigrants are building it. Eso quiere decir que somos una parte integral de este país. We are an integral part of this nation, not something peripheral and unimportant. So today is a day of networking, education, and empowerment, which is what Kean is all about. And there'll be some very important remarks by speakers. At the end, I'll review, all the different workshops that are available, as I did at the beginning. And so I want to first introduce the president of Kean University. I have to say we were very lucky to have him. He's our 18th president here at Kean University. Started with us during the pandemic in 2020, and he's really invigorated our space here. And so this would not be possible without him and his forward thinking. He's deeply committed to equity in education and equity really in all forms of life. And so he is one of the main architects of the Hispanic Leadership Center. And so, I could go on about him. I actually was the union negotiator here for quite a number of years. And usually a university president and the union negotiator are not exactly on the greatest of terms, but we are, because he's always looking for fairness in the way he acts. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the president of Kean University, Dr. Lamont Repollet. Thank you. Sorry.
We're dancing now. Buenos dias. All right, and welcome to Kean University. Together, we gather united in a shared commitment to educational excellence and opportunities for all. I want to thank the teams at CREC, we said Crece, the Center for Rising Excellence and Cultural Empowerment at Kean, and the Latino Action Network Foundation for this extraordinary effort in organizing this event. Their work is an example of the kind of partnerships that make real change possible. Education is the great equalizer. It has the power to transform lives and reshape futures. I have a story, since I have the AG here, and that's my first colleague there. When the Governor Murphy announced me as one of his nominees for Commissioner of Education, the first thing I said at the press conference was, education changed my life. And I say that again all the time and all the time. Now, education can be in different forms. It doesn't have to be in the form of a degree. It could be a certificate, but it's more about information and interpreting information and using that information to better yourself, your situation. We talk about Kean University. We talk about our trajectory. We say Cougars climb higher. So we know that education is that foundation, is that ladder that will help you change your trajectory. And so we hope that with these programs that we're doing here at Kean University, it's a step stool, right, for you to take the information and do whatever you want with it. But we always say move forward, right? Continue to climb higher, because Cougars climb higher together. So this information we received today, please, we hope that it's just the one of many through our partnerships and organizations that we have on our campus. So as a Hispanic serving institution and minority serving institutions, Kean takes pride in creating pathways for success for all students. This is why we've also been recognized year after year for our support of first generation and veteran students. Now they call that social mobility, right? And that's a word that we might hear, but let's kind of define a little bit what social mobility is. Social mobility is exactly what I talked about, right? It's climbing higher. It's changing your trajectory. It's changing your outlook. And so we say at Kean University, when you come here, you'll receive a quality education. You learn about who you are as a person. We ask you to get engaged on campus because we know if we put that all together, right, that formula, then that would change your life. And we call it social mobility, right? Because a lot of our students here, 52% of our students are first-generation students, right? And I would sit and say probably 60% of our students are on Pell Grant. So that means that Kean is a place as a resource for them, but also change their life. So these designations reflect our commitment to serve our diverse student population. Now, as New Jersey's first urban research university anchor institution, we are not just about opening doors, we're about building new ones. Our Supera Spanish-speaking program is a great example. It provides a comprehensive support to English language learners, including introductory courses in Spanish, specialized academic guidance, mentorship, and a community of peers who shared lived experiences. Now, you're probably saying, what is Supera, and why is that important? So I'm going to tell you, Kean is, I always talk about our mission statement, right? So Kean, in 1972, started a program called the Spanish-speaking program. We changed and we got it to Supera because we don't really like Spanish-speaking program, right? So there's this program that says we understand that language is something that you can acquire, but it doesn't determine your intelligence. So we realize if we can put you in a situation where you can actually learn the language while going to school at the same time, then we understand that will change your trajectory. You will climb higher. So I'm just proud to say that this was the first program, and please correct me, my team, if I'm wrong, the first program in the country to offer bilingual education to those individuals coming in, because we know that language is not a barrier. And so Kean has always been rooted in that. So our Supera program since 1972 has been producing a lot of individuals out here now that come in here, and they are now alumni. They're providing, they're producing in our society. So we're very pleased with the roots in which we call Kean University. Our Moonshot for Equity Excellence initiative is also working to close achievement gaps across all colleges. These are not just programs, they're promises. Promises that say to our students, we see you, we support you, and we're going to stand with you every step of the way. Promises backed by real resources and dedicated staff who work every day to help each and every student succeed. So let me share 3 stories before I wrap this up that show the power of these promises to transform individual lives as well as entire communities. 2-time Kean alumna Diana Calle broke language and cultural barriers to become the first in her family to earn a degree. Today, she's transforming lives as director of Union County's Office of Persons with Disabilities and Special Needs and inspiring future generations as a board member of Kean's Alumni Association. Sean Santos, a first-generation student in Kean's Michael Graves College of Public Architecture, is channeling his personal experience to make spaces more accessible and welcoming for everyone, including neurodivergent individuals like her brother. And then there's alumni Tina Marie Lopez, who turned her journey of seeking acceptance as a gay, biracial, bi-ethnic woman into a career at the International Rescue Committee, helping refugees and asylum seekers build new lives in the U.S. So you see, our graduates for years have gone to become leaders in their fields, advocates in their communities, and inspiration to those who follow in their footsteps. These stories and those stories are just the beginning. See, today's conference brings together the comprehensive network that you need, from immigration guidance, academic support, to financial aid resources and career development. Each new connection is a key to unlocking new possibilities and bringing you closer to living the life of your dreams. Make the most of the day, and thank you again for being here. But that transformation only happens when we ensure that everyone has a seat at the table and receive the support and resources they need to succeed. As a Hispanic serving institution, a minority serving institution, Kean takes pride in creating pathways for success for all students. So thank you very much. Have a great day, and God bless. As my abuela would say, bendición.
So Dr. Repalet really nicely summarized one of the things that make me so proud about being a teacher here at Kean. And most of my students, their families are immigrants, or they themselves are immigrants. And they're the first folks in their families to get an education. So that fills me with pride, really. I think it's a special mission here. I'm very proud of that. 37%, I think, of our students are from Latin American countries, either they or their parents. And, it's often been said, I'm not sure if there's a little bit of an exaggeration, that you can hear 30 or 40 different languages spoken in the halls of Kean University. So I'm really proud about that. So now for the moment you've been waiting for, the man of the hour, if you will, our Attorney General in New Jersey, Matt Platkin. I was first impressed by Attorney General Platkin earlier last year. I'd met him briefly when he worked with the governor, but early last year there was an issue about county line vote and so forth, and who would have access to the ballot, because typically county organizations, party organizations, determine the party line, as it's called. And so he refused to defend that. And so I said, wow, okay, that's a powerful voice for transparency in government. And then, so as we were planning this conference, I said, one of the things on my TV came on, Attorney General Platkin was defending immigrant rights, and with great passion. And I said, we have to get the Attorney General here today, because he really has a strong feeling about the importance of our immigrant communities, and that is exciting to me. And then just last week, or earlier this week, I should say, he came out with notice, sent out a press release saying he would be leading the defense of DACA folks who are worried about losing their health care insurance. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's an effort to restrict their access, and so AG Platkin and other state attorney generals are fighting against that. And so we thank you for that effort, and it's a courageous initiative, and it's very important to us. So without further ado, that's why we're so happy that he's here today to address some of the concerns of our immigrant community. So Attorney General Matt Platkin. So thank you for coming. I can't tell you how pleased I am. Thank you. I'll go around this way.
Buenos dias. Oh, you can do better than that. Buenos dias. There you go. Still, I know the president didn't put you to sleep, because he's got more energy than any person in the state of New Jersey. And I got to give him a huge shout out. Everyone, when you're involved in government, public service, everyone always says, oh, that's my guy, I love him, this and that. I really love him, okay? He's really my guy. We've been through some serious, we've been in the trenches through some very difficult challenges in this state. And, I'm the youngest attorney general in the country, which is an honor that I continue to hold, because nobody, I guess, has been dumb enough to put somebody younger than me in office. But you meet a lot of people and you kind of can tell right off the bat who really cares. And President Repollet is somebody who genuinely cares. And I take that trait over any trait 365 days a year. And he cares about you all. He cares about this institution. And I joke every time I'm here, there's like a new building that pops up. And it's a testament to what's being built here, to him, his whole leadership team. I just give you so much credit. This is an amazing, amazing institution that serves one of the most diverse populations of any student body anywhere in the country, in one of the most diverse counties. And Commissioner, I want to thank you for being here. I know Congresswoman McIver is going to be here later. This is one of the most diverse counties in the United States of America, sitting in maybe the most diverse state, depending on how you measure it, in the United States of America, with a Latino population, by the way. And I want to thank Frank and Lan and all of the leadership and all the sponsors here, and I'm going to touch more on them. The Latino community in this state is one of the most diverse Latino communities in the United States of America. And it's not a community, first of all, Dreamers themselves are not all Latinos, but particularly for the Latino community, it's not a community that we can talk about with a broad brush. That communities have different needs, and it's important to recognize that history. And obviously, Frank is one of the foremost historians that you could have, and he's an incredible leader. He's someone who I have tremendous respect for. The Latino Action Network is an organization that I have tremendous respect for, whose advocacy in Trenton has lifted up the issues present in this room, in the halls of power, in a way that has helped make this state more equitable and fairer for literally millions of people. So we're here today talking about an issue that could not be more timely. Look, I just said how diverse our state is. I just said how special that diversity is. It's a diversity that we should wear with a badge of honor, but we are a state of immigrants. 2 million immigrants in the state of New Jersey. We're a state that, I like to claim credit, and New York might disagree with me, but we're jointly harbor. It's a state that is home to the Statue of Liberty. It's a state that has welcomed immigrants throughout our nation's history, and it's a state that has been built on immigrants, including my own family's story, including my wife's family's story, whose parents immigrated here from China and opened a restaurant down in South Jersey. And, when I hear a lot of discussion now about birthright citizenship, something, by the way, that was recognized before the Civil War and had to be put into the United States Constitution because there were people who did not recognize former slaves as citizens of this country. That's the history of why they enshrined birthright citizenship in the 14th Amendment. Okay? So when they talk about denaturalizing citizens, they're talking about people like my in-laws who immigrated here, who owned a restaurant, who worked 364 days a year from 9 a.m. until 2 a.m. for 30 years. And when they talk about birthright citizens, they're talking about people like my wife, the mother of my 2 kids, who, like old habits die hard, President Repollet said, didn't speak English until she went to public school and learned it there, and is now finishing up her doctorate in psychology. And so that's what we're talking about. It's become in vogue, unfortunately, to attack immigrants in this country. And look, I'm the chief law enforcement officer of this state, and you better believe that I care about the public safety of our residents. Raise your hand if you want more crime in our state. I've never been to a community that's going to raise their hand to that. We all agree on that. We all agree that people who murder people and commit sexual assault should be held accountable. Let's not mistake that, okay? But that's not what we're talking about here. There aren't 30 million murderers running around. What they're talking about when they talk about immigrants, and particularly when they talk about our dreamers who represent the best of us, people who only know this country, people who have businesses here, who pay taxes here. By the way, pay taxes at a higher rate than the 1%. So when you hear Elon Musk talking about it, make sure you remind folks that Elon Musk pays lower taxes than the average undocumented immigrant. These are people who own businesses here, who pay taxes here, who served in our military, who serve in law enforcement, who form the backbone of our society. So for me, it's not a question of whether I would defend them. Yes, we will keep folks safe. And guess what? We're doing that. We've had 2 years running. I've been in office 3 years. The last 2 years, we've had the lowest number of shootings each year we've ever had. 2 years ago, we said we were going to have under 1,000 shootings in the state of New Jersey. People literally laughed at me. That year, we had 924 shootings. Last year, we said we were going to have under 800. People laughed again. We said we're going to have under 800. We had 784 shootings. Now, that's 784 too many, but it's literally half what we had a decade ago. And you're 6 times more likely to be shot and killed in Mississippi than you are in New Jersey. Mississippi, a state that's one of the states that's leading the anti-immigrant crusade on the basis of public safety. I think their residents should ask why they're 6 times more likely to be shot and killed than you are in states like New Jersey, which are taking a different tact. So I will not back down on the fact that you are safe here, but we're not going to do it on the backs of hardworking people who are raising their families here, who are contributing to our state, to our economy, and to our society. And that's why I'm really proud of the work we've done to defend our dreamers in particular. 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, there was a lawsuit in the state of Texas. Texas challenged the DACA program. Now, DACA, as many of you know, probably all of you know, was created in 2012 by then President Obama. And he said, and it was after years and years of Congress failing to act to protect the hundreds of thousands of dreamers, hundreds of thousands of DACA recipients, millions of dreamers in this country who, again, only knew this country. And so they created a program called DACA, which provided temporary protected status to dreamers, hundreds of thousands of people. People with American-born children, again, people who own businesses, people who have helped protect our communities. And the state of Texas, being the state of Texas, filed a lawsuit challenging that program. Now, New Jersey was the only state that stepped up and said when President Trump, in his first term, said he was not going to defend the program in court, New Jersey stepped up and said, we will. So we went down to Texas 6 years ago, and we've been there ever since. And we've been litigating ever since. And we have been defending DACA alongside MALDEF, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, and sometimes the Department of Justice, sometimes not, depending on who was in charge. But the state of New Jersey has been consistently there to defend this program. And yesterday, you may have read, we received some news out of the Fifth Circuit. For those of you who follow the law, Fifth Circuit is not exactly a home court for us. Famously, one of the most conservative courts in America. And yes, yesterday they said again they don't think the DACA program is legal. But, and this is a big but, thanks to the advocacy of our office, they said that only applies to the state of Texas. To the other 49 other states, DACA not only remains in effect, but the forbearance provisions, meaning that you won't be deported if you have DACA status, your work protections, the ability to apply for new DACA status for people who don't have it, is back online. And so even when times look dark, we've been able to have victories. And I know it's a difficult moment right now. I know we are going into a period of intense anxiety for our immigrant communities and for our dreamers. That's not lost on me. And look, if you read, you have to take it at face value. If you read what President-elect, on Monday will be president again, Trump has said when it comes to immigrant communities, when you look at what is said in the 920-page Project 2025 document, when you look at what he and his associates have said on the campaign trail, it is unprecedented. The types of threats to the immigrant communities that make up the backbone of this nation. But I know two things. One is we are ready. You saw it this week. Frank mentioned it. We did something called we moved to intervene, which is a complicated legal jargon for saying we stepped up to defend Dreamers' right to access the Affordable Care Act exchanges in their states. This was something the Biden administration said was lawful. We agree. And if the Department of Justice decides not to defend that rule, which I suspect they will, we'll be there to do so. And why are we doing that? It's not because you all are asking, or any Dreamers are asking for a handout. You're asking for the same treatment that everybody else gets. The ability to buy health care on the Affordable Care Act exchange. Health care, which should be a universal right. So that Dreamers, and again, they're American children, American-born children, can ensure that they don't have to get sick and go to the emergency room before they can get some health care. That they can protect themselves and their families. The same way, as a parent of two young kids, I take care of my family. And you all take care of your family. That's all we're talking about here. This isn't radical ideas. And so we're going to stand up and defend that. And we are going to, and me and 13 other states joined New Jersey in that legal action. And we are in a coalition of states that are going to do everything we can to protect our communities. Yes, again, we all will stand up for public safety. Nobody is questioning that. Don't let anybody steer you otherwise. Nobody's saying sanctuary to murderers. That is nonsense. What we're saying is we're going to protect people who are doing nothing wrong, who are paying their taxes, who are working in this state, and who are contributing to our society. And we are going to fight for that. We are going to fight for them. And the second thing I know is that, unfortunately, in the history of this country, we've been here before. You know, people like to say, I've got asked the question a bunch of times, like, how do you think, the first Trump administration, you were successful 80% of the time that you sued the administration, which is true. And by the way, that's a historically unprecedented rate. And I like to point out that's because they violated the law at a historically unprecedented rate. So they say, well, the Supreme Court is more conservative now. The circuit courts, the courts across the country are more conservative. How are you going to be successful? And I said, yeah, 2017 famously was a very liberal Supreme Court that we were dealing with. That's a joke for those of you who aren't paying attention. So we've been here before, and we've been here before in this country's history. Look, I talked about the history of the 14th Amendment, why we have birthright citizenship. It came after a civil war. We're a nation that the Supreme Court of this country in 1944 blessed Japanese internment camps. We're a nation that at one point had alien and sedition acts, that had quotas. So we've been through anti-immigrant periods in this country before. And in dark moments, I turn to my spiritual leader, as every Jersey person does, Bruce Springsteen. Okay? Bruce Springsteen. And, he's got a great song on his Wrecking Ball album called American Land. And in that song, he talks about the immigrant experience. He sings about it. And, he's got a line that says that the hands that built this country we're always trying to keep out. You think about that. Frank mentioned it. Immigrant communities have built this country. They may look different over the periods of the history of this nation, but it's the immigrant communities that have built this country, that have enriched this country, and that have made this country what it is. It's what makes us different from every other nation and certainly every other democracy throughout the history of the world. It is the defining feature of America. It's not something we do kind of on the side. It's how we were founded, and it's who we are. And it's a promise that we've never fully lived up to, but yet one we constantly strive to achieve. And so when I think about this work that we're doing, that unfortunately now we're in a position where I understand how fearful so many of our communities are, I know we're going through a period of time that we will get through, and we will be stronger on the other side of it. And we'll be stronger as a community, as a state, and as a nation. And whatever may come, just know that as the person who took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this state, and all 9.5 million, and it's 9.5 now, by the way, we're growing, 9.5 million people who call the greatest state in the nation home, know that I'm not going to back down in defending you. I'm not going to be afraid. And we're not going to be afraid of a fight if it means standing up for the people who live here, who call this state home, and who are doing nothing wrong. So God bless you all. I hope you have a very productive day, and know that we stand with you today and each of the days that will come. Thank you.
So thank you, Attorney General. Am I understanding correctly that the translation is not working too well? ¿Han podido oír lo que estaban hablando en español? ¿Han podido oírlo en inglés, traducido de inglés a español? ¿Sí? Okay. No, some people know. Bueno, lo que dijo el fiscal general, en general, es que Texas y otros estados están tratando de eliminar DACA. Y recientemente han dicho que DACA es ilegal, pero hemos estado por ese camino en otras ocasiones. Y el estado de New Jersey no va a parar de defender los derechos de los Dreamers, que ustedes pueden estar seguros que él va a defender hasta el último los derechos. Y aquí no va a dejar que los inmigrantes se maltratan y va a tratar lo mejor posible de defender sus derechos. No sé si hay otra cosa más que decir. Yo creo que más o menos eso es lo que dijo. Él dijo que él va a prometer a ustedes seguir en esta lucha hasta el final, y que sabe que este es un tiempo de mucho miedo en nuestras comunidades. Pero él dijo también, y yo puedo decir esto como historiador, que hemos pasado por eso en otras ocasiones. Esta no es la primera vez que hay gente atacando a los inmigrantes. Hemos visto eso con la gente de Irlanda, de la gente de Europa del Este, de los italianos, de los gente de China, de Japón, etc. Hasta mencionó que durante la Guerra Segunda Mundial encarcelaron mucha gente de origen japonesa. Entonces, eso es lo que sus palabras eran, para asegurar la comunidad que él va a seguir defendiéndonos. So, did my best to sort of summarize his words, and they were encouraging. They were words of promise to hang tough in these difficult moments. So I thank him for those words, and that was one of the reasons we wanted to have him here. So we have a few other speakers, so hang on, please, and just bear with me a second. So it's a pleasure to also have welcoming remarks by our Union County Commissioner, Sergio Granados. there's a theme here. A lot of folks are graduates of Kean University. We're really proud of that, as is Dr. Repollet, which I forgot to mention. And Commissioner Granados is a two-time graduate. He received his Bachelor of Business Management, and he also received a Master's in Public Administration from Kean. And as I understand from his bio, and he's still rather youthful, I can see him right here. He's got some gray hairs in his beard. Tell me about it. So, but anyway, when he was elected, he was the youngest commissioner ever elected. I don't know if that's in the whole state or Union County. And the AG Platkin had recently said he was the youngest attorney general in New Jersey. I'm the oldest professor here at Kean. No, I'm just kidding. No. But anyway, all right. So I wanted to welcome Union County Commissioner Granados up here to say a few words of welcome. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you.
Buenos días a todos. It is a great honor to be here, and I'll start off by saying, as a county commissioner, as someone who comes from a family of immigrants, my father came here when he was 16 years old, and like so many other immigrant families, he came, he worked in a factory, and helped provide for himself, but also sent back money to his mother, to his brothers and sisters back in El Salvador. And that's the same story of so many other individuals who come here to provide a better future for themselves and for their families. Know that I will always stand by our immigrant community, by our dreamers, in making sure that you have the rights and necessities that everyone deserves, and making sure we fight alongside each other for it. I want to thank the Latino Action Network Foundation, Kean University, and the Hispanic Leadership Institute for organizing this impactful event. It is an honor to be here today at the Dreamers Resource Fair to address an issue close to my heart, supporting our immigrant communities, ensuring that everyone has the resources they need to thrive. Union County is a place where diversity is our strength, and we are committed to ensuring that every resident, regardless of immigration status, has access to the support and opportunities they deserve. I'm proud to highlight the services Union County provides to assist immigrants and dreamers. Programs such as the We Are One Union County, located in Rahway, offers critical assistance and including citizenship application process, voter registration, and other pathways to civic engagement, including English as a second language. Additionally, Proceed Inc., an organization listed in our resource guide for new Americans, provide essential services such as legal assistance, healthcare support, and emergency housing. Our county's Division of Social Services plays a significant role by offering access to emergency medical care, health insurance for children, and connections to mental health resources. Programs like this were built to remove barriers, ensuring that every individual can live with dignity and security. I also want to encourage everyone to take advantage of the incredible work our partners have done here today, with so many different informational tables that are providing a wealth of information for all. From workshops on navigating immigration challenges to information on educational resources like FAFSA, this fair represents a spirit, collective in action. Many organizations coming together to lift up our dreamers and immigrant families. Union County is proud to lead with compassion and inclusivity, offering services like our Newcomer Welcome Center, which hosts monthly events to connect newcomers with resources, legal guidance, and healthcare, working alongside Make the Road New Jersey and many other organizations. This initiative and other exemplify our ongoing commitment to supporting those who have chosen Union County as their home. In closing, I want to remind everyone, you are not alone in this journey. Union County and Kean University are working together on many different programs that are supporting you every step of the way. Together, we can ensure that our immigrant communities have the tools to achieve their dreams and make meaningful contributions to our shared future. Thank you again for having me, and I look forward to continuing this important work with all of you. Viva la comunidad hispana. Gracias.
I would add that President Repollet was also one of the youngest commissioners. So her bunch was the youngest commissioner, yeah. And by the way, his dad is Puerto Rican, so we often talk about that. And we talk about habichuelas y frijoles and arroz. Empanadas, too. Okay, anyway, so the commissioner, el comisionado, dijo bien claro que él también en este condado van a defender los derechos de los inmigrantes y que este es un sitio abierto para ellos. No debían tener miedo aquí, que vamos a seguir dando servicios a los inmigrantes aquí en este condado. Brevemente, eso es lo que dijo. Pueden hablar con él si él sigue aquí, pueden hablar con él un momentico. Y también dijo que la universidad está dedicada a eso también. Okay, so the last shall not be least. I want to take a moment to introduce my fellow partner in crime here, Carlos Rodriguez. Carlos is the vice president here at Kean, and I have to say he's got such vision and drive for Crece, and Crece, he came up with the name, and the president mentioned it, right? Crece, to grow, to build, is the acronym for Center for Rising Excellence and Cultural Empowerment. And so Dr. Repollet and VP Rodriguez, really the brainchild here, then they asked me to come along and help try to build it. I'm so pleased they did. And so Carlos is so dedicated to the mission. I've been with him, traveling to Washington, other locations. So I wanted to have him come up for a moment and explain a little bit about our dreams. This today for us is a dream come true. To have Kean be a center for community activity and a place where ideas are exchanged. So I'm really proud to be working with Carlos. So Carlos, if you'd say a few words for folks.
Gracias, Frank. They always tell me that they save the best for last, so I hope I do not disappoint you. But I don't know. I mean, we had a star-studded lineup today, and I'm so proud. And what a great-looking audience today. I'm beyond words, because when we first started this initiative, we thought small, and then we were like, well, wait a minute. We're at Kean University. We never think small. So we either go big or we go home, and I think today we did it right. Right, Frank? All right, so good morning, buenos dias, mi gente. Let's go, let's get that coffee running in our blood, right? It's my privilege and an honor to welcome you to the Statewide Dreamers Conference and Resource Fair here at the university. And I thought about this, as we gathered here today, we gathered united in a purpose, right? And that purpose was to uplift and support our dreamers and our immigrant community in terms of accessing resources and opportunities that they need to thrive, right? Really important stuff here. But this event today represents more than just a gathering, right? It is really a reflection of Kean University's unwavering commitment to diversity, to equity, to inclusion. And it also really falls in line really nicely, our mission of today, with the new center that we've established here at the university, the Center for Rising Excellence and Cultural Excellence. Say it with me, Crece. I love it, I love it. Crece, the Hispanic Leadership Center here. I have no doubt that Crece will be a transformative initiative here, that it will be a leader in this space. Dr. Repollet talks a lot about this. We want to be an anchor institution for our community, and we want to be a leader in this space. And I think that is what our mission is here, and I think it aligns really well with what we're doing today. And with good reason, right? When we look across the country, we understand now that Hispanics are the fastest growing demographic, right? We represent 19% of the total population across the country. In New Jersey, we represent 21%. And here at the university, we've spoken a little bit about that. 40% of our undergraduate, thereabouts, approximately 40% of our undergraduate students identify as being Hispanics. And so having the Crece Hispanic Leadership Center here really helps to support their platform for success here. So let's talk a little bit about what college students look like these days, right? We know so far that approximately 1 in 10 college students identifies as either being a dreamer or undocumented. And events like today underscore the importance of providing them with the resources they need and a sense of belonging. But before I get too much further into my remarks, I want to take a moment to acknowledge all the hard work that has gone into putting this event together. So I am going to ask the founding members of CRECE to rise and stand up. Yeah, there you go. Stand up. You see them across the room. Stay standing up. I also see a lot of people with yellow shirts, and these are our partners. They're called the Latino Action Network Foundation. They probably do not need an introduction, but please, let's give these folks a big round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've worked so hard. A couple of weeks ago, we started out. I think we looked up, we planned, and we were on our way, and I think we had about 20 people registered, and we were like, whoa. We sort of panicked for a second. But we knew that in the end, our hard work, we knew that our community would show up for us just the way we are showing up for our community. Today we are well over 200. So give yourselves a round of applause for making sure that you took advantage of this great resource. Dr. Repollet is sitting right in front of me, and I just want to acknowledge his efforts in this event today. When we met and discussed this initiative, he green-lighted it right away. His enthusiasm, his support has made this event possible today. So I want to say thank you to Dr. Repollet and give him a big round as he's walking out. I'm going to close out my remarks by sharing a couple of quick things here. The challenges that are faced by immigrants and by the undocumented people are multifaceted. But I want to remind you that so are the solutions that we can come up with together when we work together. And so through partnerships such as the Latino Action Network Foundation, through partnerships with our county commissioner, with the Attorney General's office, I know that we can begin to break down these systematic barriers and provide the tools necessary, whether they're legal aid, whether it's support for health care, whether it's financial assistance, or even educational opportunities. Today's event is also more than just providing those resources. It's about creating connections and fostering hope. It's about knowing and letting everyone know that every individual here, I think we need to remind you that you're not alone, that your aspirations are both valuable and valid, and most importantly, they're attainable. So thank you to the partners that are here today, our student volunteers. You probably saw them, and they're going to go right back into action as soon as we wrap up here. The advocates who got the word out. I see leadership here from the university. I see leadership from other institutions. So thank you for coming out and supporting such a great event. Let's get this word out. This is not a Kean thing. This is a thing about making sure that rights are protected, making sure that whether you're a dreamer, whether you're undocumented, whatever it is, that we're going to stand up and be courageous about those decisions that we make. So thank you once again. Please make sure that you participate in the workshops, explore the career fair, the resource fair, and engage with these incredible organizations. Both Frank, myself, Dr. Dela Cruz will be available for any questions. I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate you guys. Come back. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're an alum or a friend of the institution, welcome back. Have a great day. Thank you all.
So needless to say, the day is really just picking up now. I just want to alert you to the fact there's lots of empanadas and other goodies out there. I hope to grab a few before the day's over, if you don't get them all. So I just want to announce to you a couple of things here. First, I want to thank the folks who are manning tables here, and you should all take advantage. Todavía hay gente entrando. Yo conozco mi gente. Las 9 de la mañana, un poquito temprano, es un sábado. Hoy es sábado, ¿verdad? Sí, es sábado. Entonces, pero el día está empezando ahora. So the day is really starting with the workshops. I was kidding around there saying that I know my people are not exactly early or on time. So there's a lot to go on. So let me thank those who are manning tables here today. First, Planned Parenthood of New Jersey. The Partnership for Maternal and Child Health is here. La Casa de Don Pedro in Newark, great social agency. YWCA of Northern New Jersey is here. Community Affairs and Resource Center, located in Monmouth County. So if you're a Monmouth County person, check them out. Morris County Organization for Hispanic Affairs is manning a table here. The Ironbound Community Corporation is here. The Office of New Americans is here. New Jersey Citizen Action is here. And Make the Road New Jersey. Now, shortly, so we're getting back on schedule, it looks like. 11 a.m., we have 4 workshops. 4. And I just want to alert you to them. There's somewhere out there, there is an agenda floating around, but let me announce it for you right now. Resistencia en Acción is having a workshop in NAB. That is the name of the building here, North Avenue Academic Building, 109, NAB 109. So that would be on the first floor. The workshop is entitled Know Your Rights, Defense and Protection During ICE Raids. Conoce tus derechos, defensa y protecciones durante operativos de ICE. Then New Jersey Citizen Action is having a workshop in NAB 115. Healthcare access for immigrant families. Conoce tus derechos, acceso a atención médica para familias inmigrantes. And then we have Make the Road New Jersey on the second floor of this building is having a workshop in NAB 208. Immigration status and school enrollment. Conoce tus derechos, estatus migratorio y matrícula escolar. And then finally, New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice is having a workshop in NAB 207. Know Your Rights, presentation on ICE encounters. Conoce tus derechos, defensa y encuentros con ICE. So go forth. We'll be here, I think, till 1:30 today. And again, it's been my honor and a dream for me to have this event. Do we have something else to announce? Bueno, con tu teléfono pueden tocar ese, yo no sé la palabra traducida, QR code. Toca eso. ¿Y qué pueden hacer cuando hacen eso? Pueden ver dónde están todos los talleres que tenemos hoy. Bueno, sigo luchando con mi español. Inglés es mi primer idioma, pero sigo en la lucha siempre. Felicidades, gracias por venir hoy. So thank you, everybody. I was just saying, English is my first language. I'm dangerous in Spanish, but we made it through. So thank you, everybody, for coming. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you.